Okay. I know some people will be coming in late because of parking and so forth and grabbing their food, but that's okay. Out of respect for time, we will get started. Welcome, Mitch Minetti with the Nampa Chamber of Commerce. Today's extra special. This is our October luncheon, but we partner with the city, and so you're in for a treat today. We'll do a little bit of business, chamber business on the front end, and then in the middle we'll pause, and we will get to hear from our great friend and mayor, Debbie Kling, for the state of the city. So I was just talking with Bobby Joe. I think, we're just going to claim it, I believe this is the largest ever in-person attended State of the City in Idaho. So congrats to you all. Okay, a couple of housekeeping things, and then I'll get out of the way. Restrooms are down that hallway, and then for those of you that have texted me, the coffee is back there and on that side, and so is dessert. So coffee there, restrooms there. There's your housekeeping rules. So again, today is going to be super exciting. Chamber business on the front end, and then our State of the City from our friend and mayor. With that, I will pause and introduce today Amanda Adams Schmidt is filling in for our board chair, Enrique Rivera, that couldn't be with us. Amanda is a board member and is our incoming chair for the Nampa Chamber of Commerce. So please help me welcome Amanda.
I am. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see so many people. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is a great picture up here. So I am just going to start us off with a super cheesy because Chelsea's not here, so this is an ode to her. What happens when a microscope and a telescope crash? They kaleidoscope. I'm sorry. I heard that this morning and I've been laughing all day, so I just had to share that. I just want to welcome everybody on behalf of the Nampa Chamber Board. This is an amazing event. We're really excited to hear what the mayor has to say about the city. I'd like to take a minute, and any of our board members, just please stand up and let's recognize them. Thank you guys for all you do. Same with, I know we have so many ambassadors out there. They work so hard for us. If we could just give our ambassadors a round of applause too and thank them. And any elected officials that would like to stand and we can recognize you, because I know we have several in the room. And then also just a huge shout out to the chamber staff. I mean, it's a very small group, and I know they work with the city on this one, but they work so hard for us every day. So Mitch, Jill, Candy, Chelsea, and Mac, thank you guys so much for all you do. And I get the privilege of introducing Wyatt Poole from the Mayor's Teen Council. Wyatt will lead us today in the prayer and the presentation of colors and the pledge by the Nampa PD Honor Guard. So Wyatt, wherever you are. Oh, there you are. Okay, great.
All righty, good morning, everyone. I am very honored to be here with you all to give this year's invocation for the State of the City. So if you all would please rise and bow your heads, we will say a prayer together. Father God, we thank you for the leadership in our city, including Mayor Debbie Kling and the mayors of our city council. We're grateful for the guidance and wisdom you have given them, as well as the gift of endurance to make the best decisions they can, even under high pressure. We're thankful, Lord, for the dedication and commitment you give our first responders, and that you continue to offer them a hedge of protection as they stand ready to come to the aid of our citizens. Father, thank you for the hardworking employees of our city, for the dedication they show in maintaining the beauty and operations of this community we love. God, we ask that your Holy Spirit continue to bless our leaders with wisdom, courage, and vision, and that Nampa be an example to communities everywhere. Father, we invite your Holy Spirit into this place with us today and ask the blessing of the food we will enjoy together. Thank you for the rich land that provided us with this nourishment and the hands that prepared it. In Jesus' name, amen. And then please remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Nampa Police Department Honor Guard. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay, you did great, Wyatt. Just side note, Wyatt is in Mayor's Teen Council and is the son of Councilman Dale and Jody Reynolds. So let's give him a hand. Okay, again, for those of you who've been to this before, we, the Chamber, are going to recognize a few of our friends and sponsors, and then I'll turn the program over to the city, and we'll hear from Mayor Kling. I wanted to just make sure and brag on our strategic partners. I believe they're up on the stage here and in the banner behind me. For the sake of time today, I won't go through all of them, but if you know anybody that works at these companies, please make sure you go give them a hug or a high five. Tell them thank you for what they do for the Nampa Chamber. We lean on them throughout the whole year for support, resources, and guidance. So please help me welcome and thank our strategic partners. Okay, and then if you've been to a chamber luncheon before, you know that your dessert is 0 calories. When you network, it's 0 calories. I see my friends out here from Serve Pro. They help sponsor the dessert, so please help me thank Serve Pro, Kelly, and the team. Thank you. And then somewhere out here is Mr. Jay Larson with Meta. When we were putting this together, last year we were at the Civic Center with 350 people, and we had people on a waiting list. And this year we were like, we need to grow this and expand it. So we brought it here to the Fort Idaho Center. That came with an additional cost and resources needed. So we reached out to our friends at Meta. So thank you to Jay and the team from Meta for your help and support. Okay, real quick, and then I'll turn this over. So again, Mitch, Nampa Chamber, I get to wear my 501c6 hat. I just wanted to tell you, November 5th, there'll be some election about some president. That's all up to you guys individually. But I do want to talk to you about November 5th, the auditorium district. The chamber board, the chamber staff, chamber ambassadors, we are all in on this auditorium district. There's information in the back. There's information up here. Come talk to a team member. I know Isabel's here, and Jeff Agenbrod, and Andrew Luther, and Jill, and a whole bunch of others, Peter, that we've been a committee that's working on this. Just know this. This is super important to the Nampa community. We're sitting in the Fort Idaho Center. This is a hotel user fee, hotel user tax. People traveling through Nampa, they would have an additional tax user fee on their hotel bill. How many of you have ever traveled anywhere and stayed in a hotel and there was an additional cost or fee on there? I see everybody's hands. We in Nampa don't have that. We'd like to establish that. It doesn't cost you or I any extra money. However, we greatly impact from that. So the money collected would go towards improvements and expansions here at the Fort Idaho Center. So it's people traveling through, local control, local support, here at the Fort Idaho Center and the Civic Center. So get to know more about that. Tell your friends, family, neighbors. It'll be on the ballot for the November 5th. And I encourage you, challenge you, learn more about it. It is honestly a no-brainer. The Nampa Chamber is all in on this. It does nothing but benefit us here locally. And so that's my plea, that's my ask on behalf of the Chamber. And I believe at this time I will pause and get out of the way, and we'll transition into State of the City. Reminder, restrooms are over there, coffee and desserts on your table, coffee's back there. So at this time, it is my privilege to welcome from Mayor's Teen Council, Avery and Nicole, that will lead us in the next part of our program. So please help me welcome Avery and Nicole.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Dumitroscu, and I'm a senior at Skyview High School. As co-chair of the Nampa Mayor's Teen Council, please allow me to welcome you to Nampa's 2024 State of the City Address. Thank you also to those who are joining us online.
My name is Avery Jessen, and I am a senior at Idaho Arts Charter School and former chair of the Nampa Mayor's Teen Council. I would also like to welcome you. Thank you again to the Nampa Police Department for presenting the colors and to Wyatt Poole for the invocation.
We would like to thank the many generous sponsors who supported Nampa's State of the City this year. A portion of their donation benefits the Mayor's Teen Council. Our title sponsor this year is St. Alphonsus, who we will hear from in just a moment. Thank you to Meta, our luncheon partner. We would also like to thank our presenting sponsors, Advanced Control Systems, CapEd Credit Union, HDR, Paragon Consulting, Republic Services, St. Luke's, and TDS Fiber. Thank you to our supporting sponsors as well, Clarity Credit Union, Horrocks, Idaho Power, Jacobs, Parametrics, and Stantec. Finally, we would like to thank the Nampa Chamber of Commerce, Elsberg Studios, and International Minute Press. And thank you to the Ford Idaho Center staff and catering partner for their support of this event. At this time, we would like to invite Clint Child, president of St. Alphonsus Medical Center in Nampa, to join us on stage.
Thank you, and we're proud to be a sponsor of this event. For St. Alphonsus, our focus through this year is really access to care and meeting the care needs of our growing and evolving community. So we have a quick little video that will show about some of the fun things we're doing.
At St. Alphonsus, our commitment to the community is stronger than ever. We're not just expanding our facilities and locations, we're expanding our ability to care for you, your family, and our entire community. We're excited to announce a significant expansion to our Nampa Hospital, adding additional beds and other clinical care space to ensure we can meet the growing needs of our community. More space means more comfort, more care, and more lives touched by our dedicated team. In addition to Nampa, we've expanded our reach with the new services at South Nampa Urgent Care, 10 Mile Urgent Care, and the 10 Mile Ambulatory Surgery Center. These new locations are now part of the St. Alphonsus network, providing enhanced access and resources for our community covering Canyon County and Western Ada County. We're also bringing comprehensive healthcare closer to home in Caldwell. Our new health plaza will offer everything from primary care to specialty services, all in one convenient location. Our commitment to fighting cancer is unwavering. We've expanded our Cancer Institute to include 4 new exam rooms and a dedicated care team space. This move has also allowed us to add 3 more chairs to our chemotherapy infusion room, meaning we can see more patients in the clinic and provide even more life-saving treatments. Now we're excited to introduce the latest in cancer treatment technology with a brand new linear accelerator, providing cutting-edge radiation therapy right here at home. At St. Alphonsus, we're dedicated to more than just treating illnesses. We're committed to delivering exceptional healthcare that transforms lives. Our vision is to build a healthier future for every individual and every family in our community, ensuring that access to the highest quality care is always within reach, today and for generations to come.
Thank you. So as you can see, we've got a lot of very exciting things coming up. And so for more details, please see anybody at our table and we can kind of talk through that with you. But another important component to access to care is our emergency medical services. The Canyon County Ambulance District has an important levy initiative related to the availability of EMS resources. These resources, especially in our more rural areas, impact the time for a 911 response. In some cases, this can mean the difference between life and death. So please be sure to be educated on this event and get out and vote. Chief Stoll, stand up, is here.
Thank you again to St. Alphonsus and all of our sponsors. The Nampa City Council is a vital part of the city of Nampa, and we would like to ask council members attending today to please stand. We would also like to recognize any other elected officials in the audience who may be serving in an elected city, county, or state agency. Please stand so we may recognize you. We would also like to recognize the many volunteers on various boards and commissions within the city of Nampa. Nampa is at its best when its residents are helping to shape decisions. If you are currently serving, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you again for attending Nampa's 2024 State of the City Address. Without further ado, it is now our pleasure to introduce Nampa Mayor Debbie Kling.
Thank you. Good job, girls. Hi. How are we today? Great. It is so good to see everyone. I was talking to Brenda earlier, and she commented, it's just, and I feel this as I was coming over, it's a little bit like a reunion, right? Because we get together and just see one another, and I love that. I absolutely love it. So I guess I should, here we go. So, good afternoon. Welcome to the 2024 State of the City for the City of Nampa. And it is always wonderful to join the Nampa Chamber Luncheons, and I love getting to see everyone. So we have an outstanding chamber, and Mitch, wherever Mitch went, thank you to you and the team for all the work that you do. I so appreciate you. And I love the partnership that we have with the Nampa Chamber between the city. It is awesome, and it's a privilege to get to work together. I also love the fact that our local chamber leaders are joining us today. Welcome. And you know what? Thank you for working together so effectively as you serve the entire Treasure Valley and the business community. We have an amazing team of chamber leaders, and I love the collaboration. I'm going to say, actually, even the leadership of the mayors across the Treasure Valley, we have great relationships, and it's really special, and it's through those partnerships that we can accomplish the most, and it's important. So, as I do each year, I want to acknowledge my family who's here today. Thank you to my family. I love you guys, appreciate you so much. I also want to thank our employees. So as we get started, guys, this is the beginning. I'm going to do all these thank yous up front. So I want to thank our employees across the city for their great work. From our internal services team that ensures that employees have the tools and the support that they need to do their work and report out on that work, to our public works that provides the critical infrastructure we depend on, to our development services and economic development teams that support the planning, the building, the business aspects of our community. And we can't forget our Parks and Rec division that enhances the livability and quality of life that we have in our community. We also have a number of other departments across the city that play a critical role in both the city and the community. Thank you to our city clerk, our Family Justice Center, the library, the Fort Idaho Center, and the Civic Center leadership, and now the IH2C that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. I also want to say thank you to Andrew Luther. I'm sure he's here somewhere. I haven't seen him today in OVG. I want to say that OVG, under the leadership of Andrew Luther, has actually taken the Fort Idaho Center and the Civic Center, but specifically the Fort Idaho Center, from a place of being a financial deficit to actually moving forward and getting past that break even. That is massive. So thank you. And critically important, our police department that keeps our community safe. We have great leaders at the Nampa Police Department, and we appreciate you. And even though Nampa Fire is a standalone district now, we are still a team, and we greatly value and appreciate your service to our community. And lastly, those in the mayor's office. You know what? When you elect a mayor, it's actually the work and the support of the mayor's office that you're putting in place. It's more than just the mayor. And we have an excellent team. And then I have to say thank you to Amy. For those that you know Amy Bowman, you know the reality that this doesn't happen here without her. So Amy, thank you for your hard work. Appreciate it. And for sharing your mom's beautiful flowers today. They're pretty. I would like our employees to stand because we have not had you all stand. So if all of our city employees that are here today could stand, I'd like to recognize and give you a round of applause. Andrew, you should be standing. There you go. Even though you're not an employee, you're part of our team. So each year, I ponder what to share and how to keep the state of the city informative, engaging, and not boring. And there's so much to share and so many accomplishments and people that I could recognize. And as we get going, I just want to say there's so much more that we get done that I can even share here today. And there are more people that I could recognize for the work that they're doing that we're not going to get to recognize today. And for those of you that know me, I hate following a script, but I have to because there's so much, and so please forgive that, but I would much rather sit and have a conversation with you, but here we go. So what did we talk about last year? It's kind of weird to do it this way, but I want to share some of the things that we got done. So last year we talked about our parks, 27 parks, and the work being done at both Midway and Ora Brandt Park. And we do have the new splash pad in. Okay, that splash pad ribbon cutting, it was cold. Notice that I don't see the water and there were lots of towels. So it is open, it's wonderful. We have our food truck hookups and more baseball fields coming at Midway. The Ora Brandt Park has 6 new pickleball courts. It's beautiful. It has a new shelter, restrooms, and food truck hookups, which is amazing. Last year we talked about our golf courses and the fact that we now own them and the amazing service that they provide in our community. We got the new parking lot done, the Centennial Clubhouse remodel was done, and there's more to do, but I want to say that I appreciate the fact that our golf courses and the Harvard Recreation Center are both self-sustaining. That's a big deal. They're both self-sustaining. Our second dog park that we talked about last time opened. It's amazing, it's just great. But we're not going to talk in detail regarding Parks and Rec today. So here we go. Last year we talked about the wastewater treatment plant. It's completed, on time, in budget. In the world that we live in today, that is something to be commended. I so appreciate Jacobs, who ran the progressive design build process. It's the first time we had done that process. It worked, and I'm so thankful we did. And our Water Resource Committee, many of them are here today, that's made up of citizens and staff for their amazing work because they oversaw this process from the very, very beginning to ensure that it was managed well. So prior to the recent improvements, our wastewater was treated to Class B standards and emptied into Indian Creek, which then would flow into the Boise River. Today, it is going to be treated to a Class A, which means that the water meets the strictest standards. We have a new pipeline for our recycled Class A water that will now go into the Phyllis Canal and the Pioneer Irrigation System. And the construction is almost complete, and we anticipate delivering water in the spring. This is just in front of Fred Meyer. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful, and I think we are the first in the state doing this. It is amazing what is happening there. And then I think last year we touched on the fact that we had an old water tank which was installed in the early 70s, and it reached the end of its life and needed to be removed. Let's take a look at that happening. I love that. I love that video. And I have to say, we had almost 2 million views on that video. I think it's because of the music. It was great. And we almost met up with our police department in their social media for the day. The police department has the best. Carmen, you're amazing, but we almost caught you there, I think. Yeah. The new water tank will hold 1.5 million gallons of drinking water and is expected to be in use this coming spring. Before we move from the water divisions, I just want to thank our Public Works team and our engineers. Last year, they oversaw the installation of 11 miles of pressure irrigation lines, 19 miles of domestic water lines, 12 miles of sanitary sewer lines. They are busy and their work is appreciated. And moving to our Nampa Public Works Transportation Division, they have 4 divisions: airport, fleet, streets, and traffic. We could talk in detail about each division and their outstanding work, but we really can't today. So, did you know that this summer we did more than 34 miles of chip seal? It's the largest to date. We'll be doing even more next summer. And if you wonder why I mentioned chip seal, it's because it extends the life of our streets. We still have a $14 million deficit in funding streets, and we're doing all that we can to extend the life of our streets. In addition to the chip seal, the engineering division oversaw the installation of 20 miles of new streets. Last year, we said that we would be completing some new roundabouts. So the construction that began last year at Midland and Iowa was completed on time, which is awesome. The roundabout at Carter and Franklin is currently under construction. It's a state ITD and LTAC project. I just want to say that we appreciate our partnerships with ITD, LTAC, Highway Districts 1 and Highway Districts 4. Those relationships and partnerships are really important, and we appreciate them. And just in case anyone wondered, I, the mayor, do not decide if we are putting in a signal or a roundabout. And our council knows that, right? Because there's a lot of discussion regarding those. So now, for the 8th year in a row, Wallet Hub has named Nampa the best run city in the U.S. And it's based on several metrics. One of them is our per capita spending. And as you know, every year I wonder if that streak will end. We strive to be good stewards of our tax dollars. We all work hard for what we earn, and it's important that we don't have any wasteful spending in this city. And to get, with that recognition, I just want to acknowledge the work of our Nampa City Council members. Thank you, because they oversee budget. Thank you so much. Another thing we talked about last year was the taking over of the former Hispanic Cultural Center, which has now been renamed to the Idaho Hispanic Community Center, or for short, IH2C. I want to pause here. We have a video with an update on what has transpired over the past year.
The building was built in 2003. It became a real gem within the community when it started, because there was nothing like it in the state of Idaho. And so for us, it also becomes a gem, because what we want to do is take this building and restore it back to that glory of 2003. And we still have a long ways to go to actually get everything where it needs to be, to not only its original intent, but also to the beauty and the enhancement for the community. We're well underway to getting that done. And we recognize that part of what we do is to make sure that we have individuals that are from the community that have input in how the center is going to be used and how the center can be revived in such a way that is respectful of its history, but also is cognizant of where we need to be in the future. And so we put together an advisory committee. In addition to that, we also pulled aside a smaller group that's working on the strategic planning for the long-term planning for the center and what that looks like. The strategic planning is going to be based off of 6 different areas of focus. One is going to be cultural, arts, and events and entertainment. That's going to be focused on health within our community. We're also going to work on sustainability. And so sustainability is going to be incredibly important to make sure that, hey, we can actually pay the bills and keep the upkeep on the building looking beautiful as always. In addition to that, we're also going to be working on education programming.
I've always been involved in the Hispanic community. I grew up 4 blocks away from here. And when the opportunity came up to be in this beautiful building that our Hispanic community has always seen as a place they're welcomed, or a place that reminds them a little bit of home, I had to jump on it. I had to jump on that chance. The partnership between the City of Nampa in this building and the Idaho Hispanic Foundation is just the perfect mesh of showing community support, of showing that we are a united community. So the Idaho Hispanic Foundation, when we started here in this building, we started as business services, right? But the intention has always been to be more than just that. We're looking to fill any gap of connection that is needed to the Hispanic communities. So we see a huge future for the Community Resource Center to integrate into all the other services the Idaho Hispanic Foundation is providing, and that we're going to have in this building as well. I am super excited to see the future of the IH2C because we have such a beautiful partnership, and there are so many beautiful spaces here that just provide that environment that it can grow a whole person, a whole family, a whole child. So to see it in just the quick time come back to life, and to see the different cultures that are coming through, of the different activities that are here, you know, the dancers, the mariachis, but then the financial literacy classes and the contractors that are coming through and we're getting certified, or just to see this building always bustling with people of all ages and of all different walks of life, of all different cultures. It's just been amazing, and I just look forward to more. I'm very grateful to the City of Nampa. I'm very grateful to our amazing advisory team who have all come together with different ideas and really want to see the best for our community.
We're looking toward the future and what this community center can actually do for the Hispanic and Latino community and the community at large, and we're going to have fun doing it. And so we're going to be really engaged in making sure that our community, when they see this building, they consider it a gem within the Gem State.
You know, a lot of work. It's taken a lot of work this last year, but a lot's been accomplished. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been involved in those efforts. It's pretty cool. So let's transition to our community survey. Each year we talk about this. We're going to talk about it again. So the past 7 years, we've conducted a community survey. And we had the most responses this year, over 2,700 responses this year to our survey. You know, and I want to say that we really do listen to what our citizens are saying, and in doing that, we've established goals around our focus areas. So what did our respondents say this year? You know how it is when you ask a question a couple of different ways. So in terms of priorities, our respondents feel that the biggest concerns they have are congestion, not surprising, huh? Housing affordability, not surprising, and taxes and fees increasing. So in a separate question, respondents said they want to prioritize affordable housing, revitalizing downtown, and clean streets, while their top priority for funding is police protection, fire EMS, and traffic signal timing. So with that in mind, we actually have been working this last year in really identifying great goals that we can measure that align the city expenditures and the outcomes with the community identified priorities. So the 4 high-level initiatives are maintaining a safe and healthy community, improving movement in and through Nampa, creating economic opportunity, and excellence in city government. So we're just completing a dashboard. It is through Tableau, and it will be available. We'll be reporting out to the public, and we're just getting ready to launch that. And I'm excited to have gotten that done. So let's talk about the initiatives today. We're going to begin with improving movement in and through Nampa. So our citizens told us that congestion is a big deal, and so we do have the goal to improve that movement in and through Nampa, and we're working hard on it. And one way to improve that movement is through our signal timing. So Nampa's traffic division is responsible for 90 traffic signals, 70 school warning signals, and over 5,000 streetlights, and nearly 15,000 different signs. A staff of 13 full-time employees provide continual service to keep everything up and running. So Nampa's new intelligent transportation management system is embedded with our police department. We're just getting ready to go live with this new system. 22 miles of fiber were installed to create connectivity with our traffic signals. The new system will improve traffic flow by allowing the staff the ability to remotely manage our signal operations and maintenance and implement signal timing plans. That's going to reduce delays and improve the corridor progression across the city. The updated system does include camera and signal controllers at certain intersections. Prior to the implementation of this system, actually everything was done manually. If you can imagine, we had to go out to every signal to make changes, which was very time consuming. So a good example of where we need this is right here. When we have concerts here at the Ford Idaho Center, I can't tell you how many times I've seen traffic sitting on I-84, which is extremely dangerous. There were times also that the exiting was slow. So with this new signal connectivity, we're going to be able to remotely see the traffic, adjust signals, and keep people moving. What's exciting is that all major and new intersections in our city will have the capability to be connected to this new intelligent transportation system. I'm really excited about it because, as I mentioned a minute ago, with a $14 million deficit, you've got to figure out how to do things better without it costing more. And so this one tool is going to help us tremendously across the city. On the transportation front also, I'm sure you've all seen Highway 16 under construction. This is a significant impact on Nampa's growth, and we're going to touch on that in a minute. But it's pretty exciting to see it coming, and it's moving fast. In addition to that comes the Ustick Road widening, which the work is going to begin soon. I want to say we appreciate the state funding that was provided to assist with this very important road widening. Mike Moyle, thank you. I think you were part of that. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Lastly, on the road construction piece, with the proposed bond that we had out for vote failing, the city asked the Nampa Development Corporation to consider funding the 11th Avenue two-way conversion, which they did. And I appreciate it, and I think we're all going to appreciate it. And this is that one block by the library that moved a number of years ago to one-way. The goal long-term is to get rid of our square roundabout in the middle of the city. But right now we can do one thing, and that is get that 11th Avenue changed. So it is in the design phase, awaiting ITD's approval, and I know that we all look forward to getting it back. And I just want to say thank you to, yes, a big applause. Thank you to NDC, Nampa Development Corp. That is our urban renewal district. I thank you for those. We have a couple of council members that sit on that and a number of others. Wendy Rhodes as the chair of that. Thank you, Wendy, for leading. We appreciate your work. It's a heavy lift right now because we have 6 years left. I'm looking at Randy Haverfield sitting here and David Bills. Well, no, who else is? Dale, right there. I went over here. Our two council members that join on that. We have 6 years before it sets. We have lots of decisions to make. We want to make wise decisions, and thank you guys for your leadership. We appreciate it. So another area of focus is economic opportunities. So those opportunities come in various ways, and the one opportunity we have before us, which Mitch touched on, is the auditorium district that is going to be on the ballot. I appreciate Nampa Chamber Tourism Committee and a team of local citizens for their work getting the auditorium district on the ballot on November 5th. This is really important. And yes. I can't tell you how to vote because I'm not allowed to, but I do strongly encourage you all to get educated and to vote. It's really important. So economic impact is important to our community, and many of our local businesses depend on tourism. visitors to our local communities that shop and eat at our local businesses. The average community economic impact just from the Ford Idaho Center Horse Park alone is over $29 million annually. The Warhawk Air Museum is estimated to be $6.8 million. And the Snake River Stampede one-week event generated more than $1.2 million into our community via travel-related spending. It's a lot. And I do want to just a quick reminder, thank you to our Snake River Stampede team that's always at our community events everywhere. Thank you guys, appreciate you, thank you. Just a reminder that the rodeo is moving to June in 2025, so let's all be ready a month early, right? Okay, so when we look at creating economic opportunity, it really is multifold. It's growing jobs, it's supporting local businesses, and increasing tourism. A personal goal that I had when I came into office was to increase the number of well-paying jobs for our local citizens, and I believe we have done that. Recently, the Co-working Cafe ranked Nampa, and this is out of 250 of the top small-sized cities in America, they ranked us number 1 for economic growth due to our dynamic economic environment. They noted us as small but mighty. They shared that the city's proactive local policies fostered an environment conducive to business and economic development, along with its proximity to Boise, making it an attractive location for new businesses and residents, which is pretty cool. I am going to mention that last week we celebrated Amazon's opening of Idaho's first same-day delivery facility right here in Nampa. We were also the first Amazon fulfillment distribution facility in the state. You know, I mention that because we've got a lot of, oh my goodness, industry and different businesses that have opened. But one thing I want to say with Amazon, because sometimes they're considered the big boy and the impact that they may have on other businesses, did you know that Amazon provides fulfillment to 2,000 small Idaho businesses? There are over 16 million items that Amazon is distributing for small Idaho businesses every year. That is amazing and really important for our small businesses here in Idaho. So we have another video. Let's watch it about our Nampa businesses. In Nampa, Idaho, prosperity begins in the soil. As farmers plant seeds to nurture their crops, we're cultivating something even greater, our community. Our city is home to thousands of businesses, each one a testament to the innovative spirit that drives us forward. From fields that feed us to the storefronts that brighten our streets, every corner of Nampa is a place where dreams take root and thrive. Just as we tend our crops, we nurture our local businesses. These small enterprises are the heartbeat of Nampa, fueling our economy, providing jobs, and boosting wages. They're the fabric that holds our community together, fostering a vibrant and resilient economy. Our success stories are as diverse as the crops in our fields. From innovative startups to beloved family businesses, each one contributes to our city's growth and prosperity. As we celebrate our community, we celebrate every entrepreneur and worker who makes Nampa a special place to live and work. In Nampa, Idaho, we believe in growing together, where tradition meets innovation, and where every business, big or small, helps us build a brighter future. Nampa, Idaho, a safe and healthy community where people prosper. Let's see how far we can reach together. We have so many amazing businesses in Nampa. I like to say that about 4 out of 5 of our businesses here are small businesses, and that's not the SBA 300 employees or less. We're talking small businesses. From the service sector to restaurants to retail, insurance, mortgage companies, banks, credit unions, manufacturing, and more, business is important in our community. And I want to say thank you to our business owners that have taken the risk to be in business to provide your service to our community. I applaud you. Thank you. So a major topic for the past 7 years has been growth. I'm going to ad lib real quickly. You know what's challenging about this topic? Because some say do a moratorium, right? Well, if we did a moratorium on growth, what would happen to all of our businesses? What would happen to our mortgage companies, our realtors, to our title companies, to the construction workers? It's not possible. It would be very difficult. So our goal here at the city is to manage growth wisely. And with that, a significant change that we have coming is the completion of the new Highway 16 corridor, which is opening a new area of growth. To plan for that growth, we've completed both the Highway 16 and the North Nampa area-specific plans. And while we can't stop growth, we can work diligently to manage it wisely. You know, I am a huge proponent of agriculture. Candidly, I think we should have had a trust in place to protect our ag ground years ago. That said, when you look at that North Nampa area and you see a lot of ag ground, in working with a land trust that I've been speaking with, that ground is already sold. It's owned by developers today. It may be in farm fields, but much of that ground is already sold. And so when we see the development coming, it isn't something that we can turn around today. So again, what we're trying to do is manage our growth wisely. So the Nampa's Planning and Zoning Department has been working over this past year to help inform and inspire Nampa's community to engage in its planning and zoning process through their digital magazine and a video series that we've produced that is a citizen's guide to planning. We know the planning and zoning process can be confusing, and I applaud their efforts to help educate our community. So another area that the citizen survey reflected was how important downtown Nampa revitalization is to them. I just want to say I am thankful for the growth and investment that we have seen this past year. I see buildings that have been sitting that are moving forward, not all of them, but several are. We may remember last year that I recognized a couple of our local Nampa leaders that are investing and working diligently to rebuild some of our long-standing downtown buildings. While the city doesn't control private property transactions or buildings, we are working on an implementation plan to move that revitalization of our downtown forward. So just be watching for that. You know what? There is so much that could be shared about Nampa and what we're doing, but we've got Robin Sellers and Mike Pena that will be coming. The Chamber's Economic Forum is next month. It sells out every year. It is an amazing forum. So I would just encourage you, if you don't have your tickets, get them now, because there's a lot of great information that comes through the Economic Forum next month. So the next area is our focus is excellence in city government. For the past 43 years, the city's received Excellence in Financial Reporting Award from the Government Finance Officers Association. For fiscal year 24, okay, I'm going to say that again, for the past 43 years, that's a long time. Every year they have received the Excellence in Financial Reporting Award, which is a pretty cool thing. This last year was the very first year that we applied or submitted for the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, and we were awarded that for the very first time. So, which is good. Thank you. Part of excellence in government is working to educate the public on what we do and how we do it. So this past year, we hosted our first ever Citizens Academy. We had approximately 40 citizens over 8 weeks join us to learn about everything from budget to streets, water to wastewater, the Nampa Family Justice Center, and more. The class size is limited, registration is open now, and last year we could not accommodate all that were interested to sign up, but the feedback was amazing. So if you really want to get engaged, please feel free to join us. I do want to mention the Nampa Public Library, because they provide valuable service to our community. we've had the opportunity to host several Smithsonian traveling exhibits. And did you know that the library has a leopard gecko? It is so cute and has the prettiest eyes, and I got to hold it. It's really sweet. So you guys should go visit the leopard gecko that they have at the library. Over 37,000 people, adults and children, have attended various programs that have been offered by the library, and the physical circulation there reflects 673,000 items passed through the library this last year. I'm not going to go over all the stats, but the service provided to our community is impressive. Our library director, Claire Conley, has done such an amazing job. And this week, Claire shared that she's going to be retiring after the first of the year. So Claire, I want to say, I don't know where you are, but there you are. Thank you. It has been a pleasure to work with you. Thank you for your heartfelt work at the library and doing such an amazing job. Thank you. Another way our Public Works Department is leading the way in the state with excellence is through the Karcher constructed wetland. This is a really cool project. It's located south of I-84 near the Karcher interchange, just above the railroad tracks. It would be the southwest corner there. It's just ground sitting there today. The wetlands will include a walking and a biking path, and this was made possible through a grant from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and in partnership with ITD, which I love this partnership. It's a 6-acre wetland that is going to use the latest research in harnessing biological treatment and engineering with nature going through there. So it'll have the capacity to treat between 1 and 2 million gallons of water per day, removing sediment, phosphorus, nitrogen, contaminants of emerging concern, and bacteria. So I just want to say I am so proud of Tom Points and our Public Works team for their innovative mindset as they approach their work. Thank you, guys. And our last area of focus is maintaining a safe and healthy community. So let's start with public safety. So our citizens have said that their number one funding priority for the city is police. Our police staffing levels are at an all-time high. NPD is now fully staffed with 151 police officers, 215 total employees. We have had substantial growth in equipment and personnel. Many may not realize that 100% of general fund property tax dollars go to the police department. Their budget, our general fund property tax revenue is about $36 million. Their budget is about $37.9, so it's more than that. And so it's kind of complicated, but I'll just say the other property tax revenue goes to streets, cemetery, library. But 100% of our general fund property taxes go to our police department. I want to say that it is my belief that the Nampa Police Department is the best in the state of Idaho and possibly one of the best in our entire nation. They serve our community with integrity, and I'm pleased to say that in Nampa, we back the blue. You know, it was interesting. Our community survey actually reflected that some don't realize that the overall crime is actually going down. This year, Nampa's Group 8 crimes, which are crimes against society, property, and persons, are down 15.37% compared to 2023. We had a little bump up in 23, they're down again. The general trend from 2018 reflected that Group A crimes are down 13%. So we have had a trend going down. And I just want to say I'm so proud of our police and all the work that they do. So the Real-Time Crime Center that we talked about last year, it was implemented to help solve crimes, and that's what it's done. So we have realized a number of incredibly positive results due to the Real-Time Crime Center technology, which is partly our cameras, and our staff. There are a lot of examples that I could share today. I'm just going to share one. So back in September, a local restaurant was robbed by a subject with a firearm. So the Real-Time Crime Center was able to use traffic camera footage to see the suspect walk out of the alley into the business. And then after the robbery, the suspect fled into the alley and out of view of the cameras. But with the help of some other city cameras and the Real-Time Crime Center staff, we found the suspect arriving at the scene again, walking down the alley, coming back up the alley and driving away. Then they were able to determine the direction that the suspect left. Found other traffic camera footage of the suspect vehicle. Ultimately, they drove past a license plate reader, and the suspect vehicle was identified and provided to our investigations unit. So our investigators alerted Boise PD of the suspect and his vehicle. The next day, that same suspect was involved in another robbery in Boise. Boise PD was then able to quickly track the suspect due to the information that was provided by Nampa PD. He was apprehended and charged with both the robbery in Nampa and Boise. What I'm pleased with was, one, we had the technology, we got the guy off the streets, but I just want to applaud our Nampa PD for the collaboration that you have with the other jurisdictions, the other police departments. We have great working relationships across the Treasure Valley with our police. Thank you for your leadership in that, Chief Huff. Appreciate it. So one question that we've received recently is, will Nampa be implementing red light cameras? So the answer is no. Our police like to give tickets face-to-face. How's that, right? Build relationships. That's a good thing to do. Yeah. Actually, the City of Nampa cameras do not have facial recognition capability, as our cameras or Real-Time Crime Center was not set up or intended for that. I will say, due to so many running red lights, many do wish that we had red light cameras, but we are not implementing that, and nor the face recognition, so not to worry about the cameras, but they are helping us solve crime, and it's extremely important. So moving on to our Healthy Nampa initiative, which began several years ago. I would like to thank Jean Munchie for her leadership. I know, you're just saying no. Yeah. Jean, thank you. I specifically call out Jean because she's been here from the beginning, and without her leadership and that passion and sticking with it, it would not have kept going forward, but she's helped it keep going forward. So Jean, thank you. And to all those that serve on this really important Healthy Nampa, Impact Nampa Coalition, it's important. So I'm not going to touch on all the pillars that we have here, but I want to mention a couple of small wins that we had this past year. You'll see that we have several pillars, but the affordable and safe housing pillar, we hosted author Greg Colburn, who shared information from his book that homelessness is not a housing problem. Now that may sound like a simple statement, but it's a very important, because we in the Treasure Valley are at risk because of the economy and all that we have going on here. So putting his information with the statistics that our recent housing study reflected, it shows us that we have some work to do. Our recent housing study reflects that Nampa needs an additional 14,500 housing units by 2040. I don't believe it's the city's role to provide housing, and we don't have the budget to do so. However, we can be good partners and ensure our local ordinances and practices support our housing needs. Another great project was the Mental Health and Substance Misuse team that is led by Nampa Fire Division Chief of EMS, Tom Wright. Tom, thank you so much for all you do. I don't know if Tom's here. I don't know where our fire table is. There you are. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tom. As you know, there is a national opioid crisis that is real, and it's in Nampa. The Nampa Fire District and the Nampa Police Department partnered on a community-driven initiative called the Nampa Narcan Leave Behind Program. The mission of Nampa Narcan is to save lives and provide compassionate support to individuals affected by the opioid addiction in Nampa. Since the program was launched in August of 2023, it experienced significant success and has actually assisted 226 citizens get into a treatment program, of which 42 citizens are drug-free for over 6 months. It's a big deal. The program's goal is to empower individuals on their journey to recovery and foster a healthier, drug-free Nampa. The other thing was that earlier this year, Mayor's Teen Council was awarded funds from the Idaho Office of Drug Policy to support the Healthy Impact Nampa Coalition's Mental Health and Substance Abuse Misuse Committee efforts. And as part of the committee's goal, it was to reduce suicide and overdose deaths. They collaborated with the Nampa schools to implement an evidence-based prevention program to build education and awareness about the risks of substances and build individual capacity and resilience to make informed decisions. They partnered with Nampa Narcan Leave Behind program and Jacob Evans, CEO and founder of HOPE, to make a teen-specific resource page. Great job, and thank you for these efforts. Another important area of focus is the safe, stable, and nurturing of a family. That team who is working to empower our community members to become good neighbors and to positively impact the health and stability of our community. The goal is to encourage our community to care for one another. And a good example of this, as you see on the screen, is where Grace Bible held an event to provide services to the Hispanic community. I want to share another example, which is my neighborhood. So some of my neighbors are here today. Where are you? There you are. I have amazing neighbors, and our HOA leadership and other neighbors, they truly care for each other. I so appreciate the support that I personally receive, and I wish that all citizens of Nampa could be surrounded by great neighbors as I am. My hope and the work of our safe, stable, and nurturing family team is to create a community where neighbor is helping neighbor. I always say Nampa is the best of what America was, where our neighbors still help neighbors. Does that always happen? No, but are we going there? Yes, we are. Malcolm Gladwell shared in his book, The Tipping Point, that studies show that essentially a child is better off in a good neighborhood, in a troubled family, than he or she is in a troubled neighborhood in a good family. Think about that. Very interesting. So if we want our city to be great, we must focus on our families, our children, the next generation of leaders, so that they have a great future ahead. Thank you to the various Healthy Nampa Coalition pillars. Thank you for your commitment to our community and positively impacting our community. So before we move to the last section, and we're getting close here, I want to say that local government plays a critical role in the state and in our nation. And as local elected officials, we experience everything our citizens do: the effects of growth, any increase in taxes or fees, and the traffic congestion. I appreciate our city council and their due diligence in watching over the budget. Our CFO, who works diligently in managing and forecasting our budget. Over the past years, we have not taken almost $5,400,000 in taxes that the city could have taken. We have nearly $3 million that is not in our budget today that would have come from new construction growth. Okay, so that is over $8 million that our citizens are not being taxed today, which is awesome and challenging at the same time. Stewardship is very important. It's a very important core value to me and to our city council, and to our employees. We are mindful of our citizens as we take complex information and we strive to make wise decisions. And a city only thrives with engaged citizens that we have. So it is a privilege to be part of the Nampa community. And each year since taking office, I've highlighted various people and organizations who are making Nampa a caring community where people live, work, and play. They worship, raise their families, and I continue to be inspired by those who selflessly invest of their time, talent, and treasure for the betterment of our city work and our community. Whether it's people serving in big or small ways, it's all important. People like this first individual that I want to recognize. When I first met him, actually it was a little intimidating. He asked hard questions, expected timely, well-vetted, thorough responses. And over the last number of years, I have grown to appreciate and have come to realize that those hard questions make us better. Hubert Osborne. If you could wave your hand where you are, there you go. Hubert has been in Nampa for many years and contributed to our community in a number of ways. He and his wife, Charlene, donated approximately 13 acres for development as a city park, Osborne Park in South Nampa. That park has been enjoyed by thousands of children and families since its creation. Over the years, Hubert served on a number of advisory committees, including the very first wastewater advisory group. He was a founding member of the Canyon County Concerned Citizens Committee, which has served as a think tank and holding government accountable. He served on the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, the Nampa Impact Fee Committee, and has advocated at the Idaho legislature on a number of issues over the years. Hubert, you are appreciated. Thank you. Right alongside Hubert is Larry Olmstead. So Larry has played a very key, he's not expecting this today, I know, a very key role in the oversight of our wastewater treatment plant, or water renewal facility as we call it today. Larry's also contributed in such a meaningful way as we transitioned the Nampa Fire Department to a district, and your assistance on impact fees and much, much more. Larry, you're a significant contributor to our community and in asking questions and expecting accountability, and I appreciate you too. Thank you. And sitting right next to you is Glenn Remby. Glenn, you're right alongside. Thank you so much. We can't forget also Darrell Bruner. Darrell, where are you? I saw you from a distance. There you are. So week after week, Darrell met with local citizens for coffee at Honker's Cafe in downtown Nampa. And while solving the problems of the city, the state, and the nation, out of it came great advocacy. Yep. Darrell, thank you for your service on City Council, in DC, and the many other boards and committees where you've served, and for your years of faithful service at NNU. Thank you. Thank you. In thinking about another individual, our community is different because of the work of Andy Rodriguez. Where are you? I don't know where you are. There you are, clear at the back. Andy is the CEO of the Nampa Housing Authority and has been for over 21 years. As a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, he's been a lifelong advocate for the Hispanic community and the community at large. Andy was instrumental in creating an affordable, safe place to live for so many, and that was before affordable housing became the new buzzword. His service has changed countless lives in our community. And you know, I think of Don Brandt also, who's not with us, who passed this year. He's someone who was behind the scenes these few years of his life, but over his life, he made a huge difference in our community as an advocate and his abundant giving to so many throughout the community. As many may be aware, the NNU Brandt Center, the Nampa Civic Center Theater are named after the Brandt family, and including the Orr Brandt Park, which was donated by Don Brandt. But also, I've had the privilege of getting to know this next person, Mikey Bargwin, back in 2012. I just lost where you were, Mike. Raise your hand. There you go. Yes. So during my season at the Chamber is when I got to know Mike. Mike's an Idaho native that was raised on a dairy farm in Wendell. I think that's why I like him. Good for you. I've watched the way Mike serves others as he fulfills his role as Economic and Community Development Advisor for Idaho Power in the Western Idaho and Eastern Oregon area. Mike is also, and I didn't know this, a military veteran, having previously served in the United States Navy on a nuclear power guided missile destroyer. I didn't know that. It's pretty amazing. But with Mike, it's not just what he does, but how he does it. Mike makes everyone feel special. Thank you, Mike. And you know, as I sit at our Board of Appraiser meetings, I'm forever grateful to David Peterson, who served, can you wave your hand so we know where you are? He's served on this board for over 14 years. Over the years, David has served on committees that addressed everything from stormwater to wastewater to impact fees to cost of service studies and my deep dive review of the Nampa departments when I first came in as mayor. David has had an amazing career, and what he shared with me recently I found profound. I may get your quote wrong, I hope not, but he said, "You don't forget what you learned quickly, but you can become less relevant." That is something, that's food for thought and something to ponder. Anyway, so another key entity, College of Western Idaho, CWI, it grew from what it is, I'm going to get this right. It grew to what it is today under the leadership of Bert Glandon. I see you sitting there, Bert. It is so good to see you. Thank you for joining us. As the second president of the college, he took the college from 1,200 students in 2009 to over 30,000 students today. It took a visionary leader to lead the community college during a season of tremendous growth. When I think of Bert Glandon, I think of the word yes. How can we accomplish it? That's why we went where we went. And so in 2021, when Bert retired, the baton was passed to now President Gordon Jones, another visionary leader. I'm excited to see where the college is going to go, and I want to say thank you to Bert Glandon for your leadership. Thank you. Last but not least, NNU was founded in 1913, and it is foundational to this community, and it being rooted deep in faith. NNU provides a comprehensive liberal arts education with undergraduate degrees and graduate programs with over 9,600 students enrolled in 28 different countries, from 28 different countries. And over the years, the baton has been passed from leader to leader, from staff to staff, and student to student. And as I think of passing the baton, Joel Pearsall is preparing to do the same. Joel, where are you? I don't know, where is he here? There you are. Right there in the middle. So in 1999, Joel came to NNU, now serving for 25 years. Joel Pearsall began his role as NNU's 13th president in 2016 and will be retiring this coming year. And Joel, I just want to say thank you for being a servant leader in NNU and our entire community. Thank you. There are so many incredible people in our community, and we can't recognize them all. I could just point out so many people and the work that they've done. Randy Haverfield, I think about the years you spent in Optimus football and the number of kids' lives that are changed because of the work that you did and your leadership over those years. Thank you for that. I see Ron Price here, who recently moved back. Okay, so how many here have gone through Leadership Nampa? Look at those hands. That is totally incredible. So Ron, thank you. You have positively impacted so many lives here in our community and in the state and in the world, right, in our entire nation. Thank you so much for all that you've done. Each day, yes. Each day as I walk into my office, I get to experience the beautiful Veterans Gardens, and it's faithfully groomed by the Nampa Garden Club. We get to experience in Nampa, our Nampa Farmers Market that's been here for 25 years, and Bob Wagner and his leadership. We have FFA students here. Annabelle and Penny Lane, where are you today? There's clear in the back. You know what? Each year, our FFA students participate in the Chamber Ag Forum and many other community activities. These are future leaders, and I greatly appreciate their work. We have so many service clubs, nonprofits that do amazing work. So much of the work in our community is done as volunteers through our nonprofits and service clubs. And I can't name them all, the organizations and projects, as they're numerous, but I would like to say thank you. What makes Nampa great is its people. What makes the state of Idaho great is the teamwork and the collaboration and the respect that we have for one another. As I think about those that I called out today and the amazing young people we have here in our community, including those from our Mayor's Teen Council, I think about passing the baton on to the next generation, running a race and finishing it well. So I find the Olympics inspiring to watch, and as I'm sure many of you enjoyed it with me. How many of you saw the men's 1x400 relay where they didn't quite connect on the baton? Yes, I think several of us did. While passing a baton may seem easy, it isn't as easy as it may appear. A commentator said that the 4x100 relay is as much about chemistry and timing as it is about speed. Think about that. As we together steward our community during the generation we have the opportunity to do so, are we preparing and practicing the baton pass? Who are we passing the baton to? Are we building relationships and mentoring the next generational team member to reach out and take that baton so that they're prepared to receive it? I attend many retirements of police and firefighters, and this week there was a fire retirement. And the question that I ask is, who are the next leaders? Who's going to fill the shoes of that person that just retired? So as we think about passing the baton, and for those here last year, we also think about the buffalo facing into the storm. I have one last thought to leave us today. I want to end with an inspiring Olympic video. And I hope you see yourself and our community as this race was finished well. Wow. Was that amazing? When I watch that video, I think of Nampa. I think of even the state of Idaho, right? We may not be the most talked about, but we're running a race and we may surprise everyone at the end. But what if we don't win the race today? I want to leave you with a quote that I love. I get to see this a lot at my home, and it says, "Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet, small voice at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow." Thank you for being an amazing community. I value and appreciate the opportunity that I've been given to serve this community. You are appreciated. I am so proud of our Nampa community, the work that gets done, the hearts that we have that are reflected by everyone sitting here today. Let's go out, and how about if we go win that race?
Okay, we'll get you out of here by 1 o'clock. I'm not supposed to judge. You've done a few of these State of the Cities. I'm going to say it was your best one. And 608 of my friends probably agree. Mayor Kling is great at recognizing other people. I think sometimes we probably don't pause as a community and recognize the hard work and the dedication that Mayor Kling does on behalf of the city of Nampa. So I think it's our turn to maybe stand and say thank you to Mayor Kling. She's looking at me like, that was not in the script. Okay, we're going to get you out of here. A couple of final comments. I'm sure when you guys woke up this morning, you knew it was a chamber event, but I'm sure 636 people also knew that today was National Support Your Local Chamber Day. Everybody knew that? Yeah? Hence why I invited my Treasure Valley Chamber friends that are here today. So I'm going to read something real quick. You kind of got a taste of this. We're very, very lucky here in Nampa that the Chamber and the city are great friends and great partners. We work alongside of each other in the best interests of business and commerce in Nampa. And that does not happen everywhere. So for the first time ever, the chambers throughout the Treasure Valley are recognizing this day. It is National Support Your Local Chamber Day. So we thought it was fitting to kind of transition and end Mayor's State of the City with this transition. I'll read this real quick. This is an opportunity to recognize the vital role and that the local Chamber of Commerce's play in supporting and advocating for business, economic growth, and strengthening our communities, from helping local businesses thrive to providing networking opportunities and educating future leaders. Chambers are the backbone and vibrant success of our towns and our cities. And so for the first time ever, as a Treasure Valley, there's events that are going on. There was one in Caldwell this morning, this today, Meridian at 1:30, and then we're ending at 3:30 at the Boise Chamber. And so I believe at this time we have a proclamation from Mayor Kling that we're going to read on behalf of Nampa, and then I'll invite my friends up from the surrounding chambers, Bobby Joe from Boise, Sean from Meridian, and Travis from Caldwell. So, Mayor, I think at this time we have a proclamation.
Here we go. Whereas chambers of commerce strive to address the community's top challenges and greatest opportunities through bold leadership and innovative problem solving. And whereas they foster stronger, more vibrant communities by advocacy for priorities to promote economic prosperity, boost quality of life, and create access to meaningful employment and opportunity for all residents. And whereas chambers of commerce are champions of communities serving as a trusted resource for businesses, residents, and other stakeholders. Whereas chambers create catalytic community partnerships to build resilient economies and promote community-wide prosperity. And whereas the chambers in the Treasure Valley, such as the Nampa Chamber, the Boise Metro Chamber, the Meridian Chamber, and Caldwell Chamber, exemplify these qualities and work tirelessly to support and enhance their local communities. Whereas established in 1892, the Nampa Chamber of Commerce has been where things happen for businesses in Nampa. Connections are made, relationships are formed, advocacy is born, and success is celebrated. Over 650 current chamber members join together to further business goals, gain a voice, create a business community, and have a business family, local people supporting local businesses, working together to build a vibrant economy and prosperous community. Now, therefore, I, Debbie Kling, Mayor of the City of Nampa, Idaho, hereby proclaim October 16th, 2024, in the City of Nampa as Nampa Chamber of Commerce Day. Good job. Yeah. Okay.
Let's make this
Photo
official.
time.
Yeah, let's make it
Okay, official. There we go.
Cameras. Okay, and we're done now. If I could have my friends from the other chambers come up, we're going to do one for the Treasure Valley.
And can we just say thank you guys for being here today?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the chamber, the work. Thank you so much. Take care.
Great job.
Thank you. Good to see you.
$12:57. My phone will start. I should probably just let you guys watch it. 12:59, people will start texting me. We're on track. Let me leave you with this. Thank you to our sponsors, our strategic partners. Thank you to ServPro for dessert. Thank you to Meta for your support today. All the other sponsors that were recognized. Just watch for our calendar invites for the upcoming events. Mayor teased this about the economic forum. On your way out, please grab a Nampa magazine. They're out there. Grab one for yourself or grab a stack for your offices. And then also all the information about the auditorium district. Mayor said that very cleverly. She can't tell you how to vote. I can. Please go vote yes. Vote in favor of. Again, get to know. I would love a conversation with you. If you're a no vote, come talk to me. And at the end of it, hopefully you'd be a yes vote in favor of that. Tell your friends that live in the district, whether you live in the district or not. I think with all of that, you guys are appreciated very, very much. As Mayor said, we probably could go through and tell 608 stories and testimonies of why this community is important. So just know you guys are appreciated. Mayor Kling, we appreciate the partnership. To Amy and Jill, an extra thank you for putting up with us in this collaboration and making this happen. You guys are appreciated. Go see the vendors on the way out, grab magazines, and check out the auditorium district. So thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day.